as we're all well aware, Kanks is a convicted felon. He would have been convicted had Merrick Garland had any balls, had Joe Biden pushed. He'd be in jail rotting right now, but he's not. But he pardons criminals and he hangs around with criminals. He takes advice from criminals. And Steve Bannon just actually said it straight up yesterday. Let's listen.
I'll tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop.
Okay, here's the thing. If you are not committing crimes, other than in Pam Bondi's Justice Department, I'll give you that. If you're not committing crimes, you don't sit around and worry about going to prison. You don't worry about being arrested. You don't worry about rotting in jail. The only people that talk about if somebody else is in power, I'm going to be arrested, are criminals doing shady shit. And we know Steve Bannon is a crime lord. I mean, he is a walking, talking crime. Kanks, walking, talking, corruption, crime, fraud, all the things. It is his life's work. And now he is the biggest crime boss in American history because he sits behind the Oval Office, which you put a sign in front of should somebody get lost, and commits crimes on a daily basis. In my opinion, probably even an hourly basis. And so does everybody around him. But I just find it so striking. They are so empowered. The crime is so pervasive that they just sit around and like, the Democrats will put us in jail because we're fucking criminals. It's staggering how pathetic these people are. And speaking of crime, and we know Steve Bannon is on Jeffrey Epstein's calendar, it seems the Jeffrey Epstein files are going to be the downfall of many Republicans. And I just want to remind everybody that the reason we don't have the Epstein files right now is Pam Bondi didn't release them to Robert Garcia and the Oversight Committee in accordance with a congressional subpoena. And these files have been shared. I mean, there are other nations and agencies that has all of this information. And so we hear now from Daily Boulder, reposted by Molly Plufkins, panic spreading through the GOP after DOJ reveals Epstein files are far more damaging for Trump than anyone thought. Well, no shit, Sherlock. He wouldn't be spending all this time and political capital to hide them if he wasn't Kanks deep in these files. And something interesting that's happening, as we know, Mike Johnson is running a pedophile protection program. So he is refusing to swear in the 218th vote on the discharge position regarding the Epstein files. So he has shut down he's shut down Congress. You can't come in. No way, no how. We're not opening Congress because of the Epstein files. Okay. Point. Lawsuit filed against Mike Johnson saying the representative from Arizona needs to be sworn in to represent her constituents. And if you're not going to swear her in, somebody else needs to swear her in. So we're going to keep watching that because it is obvious to me that Trump and his cronies have a lot to fear of the Epstein files because they would not be doing what they're doing and completely running scared of it. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion. We know Jeffrey Epstein, he liked videos. He liked blackmail videos. Howard Lutnick told us about how he used to use videos to bribe people and blackmail people. I believe Donald Trump lies about everything. He can whitewash, sane wash, whatever, anything, not video. So that's what I think they've got in those files is video of Kanks indisposed with a young girl. I don't know if that's true, but I just feel like he runs away and lies about everything, but he can't run away from this. And that's why I think it's video. And then we see congressional Democrats have requested, this is great, you guys. As we know, Britain's not fucking around with the Epstein people. U.S. ambassador gone because of his association. The former Prince Andrew is former because he is ass deep in the Epstein files and his relationship with Epstein, which I want to remind everybody, people in England believe that the person that leaked all the emails against the former Prince Andrew is Ghislaine Maxwell. So we know the shit she has on Trump, and that explains why she's sitting in Club Fed. House Democrats have formally requested Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew, to appear before Congress for questioning in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. So here's the thing. We know that Epstein and Trump were on the Prince Andrew Pussy Committee. So what does Prince Andrew know? Now, do I think Prince Andrew is going to come in and sing like a bird? Hell no. He is absolutely the grossest, devoid of any morals or ethics, and a pedophile himself. So of course, he's not going to come in and sing like a bird. But we're seeing pressure from Democrats in Congress about this. And we've got to keep it up because this might be the final straw in Trump's coffin. And we talk about on this show a lot about MAGA is splintering. MAGA can't survive without Trump because he is the cult of personality. JD Vance has no fucking riz. Marco Rubio has no fucking soul. Like, there's nobody that can galvanize these crazy dumb people like Kanks. So after the election, we are starting to see fissures forming. And we have NBC News reporting and Melania Zunona reposting some Republicans call for a course correction on immigration. This comes amid rising fears in the GOP over retaining Hispanic voters in 26, especially after Tuesday. This is a wake-up call. Clearly, it's an issue and a big one. And what I have to say to you, Republicans, is you are cowards. You have let the most ridiculously moronic idiocracy run amok. Dipshit sundowner Kanks run you, tear up the Constitution, destroy democracy. But maybe because you know the only job you're qualified for is Congress, that's enough to scare you to start listening to your constituents instead of a criminal. But we'll see. Another fissure we're starting to see is Senate Republicans say no to Trump after a year of saying yes. GOP lawmakers rejected the president's plan to end the record-setting shutdown by killing the 60-vote filibuster rule. Okay, here's the thing. I mean, it's the little things. Of course, they probably weren't going to do this because even Trump, who says, yes, I want the filibuster, but then the radical left Democrat Party will make DC and Puerto Rico state and pack the court. So I don't know. I think he wants to end the filibuster because he wants what he wants now. But even these people that are so corrupt and ethically compromised know that if they end the filibuster, it is going to change the landscape of politics forever. So they are standing up to Trump on this. So, I mean, it's not a lot because these men are not brave. They are cowards. They have no balls. But we're starting to see the fissures. And I believe it's because they saw the voters and they thought, the voters fucking hate him. They don't like their neighbors and friends and family being ripped up by people in masks and taken off to concentration camps. They don't like American citizens being taken out of their car and their child in the back seat, taken to parts unknown. They don't like seeing daycare workers pulled out of daycares in front of children, traumatizing them for their entire lives. So wake up, you cowards in Congress. It's coming for you. If it's not Epstein, it's the voters. And if it's not the voters, it's Kanks himself, because when he is in power, he is pathetic. He says, oh, grocery prices are down and we have the best economy in the world. America would have been dead. Bitch, please, here are the latest job numbers.
Health of the job market. Steve Leisman joins us with the latest numbers from Challenger on job cuts. What's going on?
Yeah, well, this is like a clue from like a cough or a sneeze or whatever. But announced corporate job cuts, Andrew, in the U.S. surging past 1 million so far this year, with 153,000 new layoffs announced just in October, according to Challenger. That is the worst October since 2003. Here are the numbers. October up 153. That compares with September. That's 100,000 more than September and 100,000 more than this time last year in October 2024. Andy Challenger.
Okay, so Trump, these are numbers you were trying to keep from the public. You know your economy sucks. You can't blame it on Biden because his numbers were 100,000 less than you the 2 previous years. And I'm just going to say something else. I don't think Trump gives a shit about people with jobs. In fact, I know he doesn't. I don't even have to argue that point with anybody that lives in reality. But when this blows up on Fox News, I mean, who's he going to fire next? Because truth is an antidote to Trump and Trumpism. And people losing their jobs, he's sitting there saying, oh, well, the stock market's great. Most Americans aren't invested in the stock market. He is completely detached. But the reason Republicans are losing is because their policies suck. They want to starve people out. They want to give Kristi Noem 2 planes while Americans' flights are being canceled. You know, all this shit's going on. We're paying for Argentina, yet we can't feed hungry people. It's gross, it's vile, and it's catching up with them. And I am here for it. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. You can also get it in audio. It is, in fact, the best stocking stuffer anybody has ever seen. All right, we'll be back with more news.